Hello, everybody. This is Professor Triplet, and I've put together a little body of examples that we are going to look at today. I apologize that I am not with you today, but I had something come up and I needed to scoot out for a family thing. So, I wanted to first just mention I have a student work examples page, and basically, what I'm doing is I'm checking up on some of my students that had submitted work in my classes to see where they're at. A lot of them had actually gotten into the industry, at least the ones I put up here. I don't know if all of them did, but many of them did. And so I went ahead and went out and said, hey, how are these people doing? So if you ever want to look up any of those people, go to dantrip.com, go to portfolio, student work examples. You can look at their work yourself. All I did was copy their name and paste it in. Usually their ArtStation stuff came up. I'll start off with Maria. Maria was a young lady who was from Eastern Europe. I'm not sure exactly where, and she was probably one of the hardest workers I ever knew. This was a piece she did when she was in my class. She actually used a picture of me as the example, so I guess I look like a bear, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, this was years ago she did this, but since then, Maria has kept on working, and she has some nice work here on her portfolio. Let's start talking about the things I like, and we'll talk about the things I don't like. I think that the first thing that's obvious is that this is beautiful work. It looks photorealistic, which is a huge plus. But not only does it look photorealistic, but it's interesting. These are, they look like pirate muskets or whatever you call those, pistols. And they just have a nice fit and finish to it. They look very good. And they've got nice patterns and colors and highlights and stuff like that. So here's another piece. This looks like a mask, and I want to say Thailand. I'm not 100% sure if that's where that's from. She doesn't have any information on it. And that's another thing. Like, it's not a bad idea to put a little bit of information, like what was your inspiration, but keep it short. That's always like the theme. Keep it short, get to the point. We go down, we got some other nice stuff. There's this nice TV, nice glow, nice atmosphere in this room. This is really a great piece. It looks like something out of Stranger Things, so of course I like it. But it's just got a great feel to it overall. It's a great lighting motif. So Maria's really rocking it. And then, interesting enough, we get into professional work that she's done. So actually, up until then, this looks like it's all personal work, and then we get into professional work because you see that it has a logo on here, and this is really great. I almost wonder if having that as well as having some of her professional work up here somewhere might be good. Maybe have smaller tiles so that you can see the professional work as well as the work that she did herself. These are really nice. These are nice pieces. I'm not exactly sure what she was doing these for. They don't have any names on it. Then we get over here, and I start to get I have problems with some of this stuff. This one particularly, it looks like a lot of the scale is off for some of these things. Maria probably doesn't use the men's urinal much, and these look completely wrong. They just don't look right. So anyway, that's one thing to be careful. This is not her best work. She should definitely remove that. This one's it looks like it's the same scene, but it looks a little bit better. We get down here now. Now we're doing, this is nice work. This looks pretty good. These look nice, especially that they're from a professional company. She's got some actual product stuff here, which is great because that's good if you want to get into advertising. It's good to show that kind of stuff. It's okay. Some of the stuff's okay. This one's really neat. If she's going to show off a lot of her personal work, this maybe should be up a little bit higher because it's nice. This is actually professional work. Phosphor is a game company in Chicago. I used to work with some of the guys from Phosphor. And so this is stuff from there. I think she put it at the end because she didn't feel it was as impressive as some of the other work, which I would agree with her. So Her curating is pretty good, but it is good to have like some of the professional work you've done up there for sure. Not a huge fan of this. I know where she was going for. I do like the TV though. The TV's good, but not a huge fan of this. Not a huge fan of this. So I think at this point, like, it's safe to say that she basically did enough that she doesn't need to really keep putting filler in. This I think is kind of cool. Some of these, maybe if she made it look a little bit more realistic, because there's jobs in medical illustration, and this could be helpful for that. But you know, we start to get to a point where this is actually very old. She did this right when she got out of my class, shortly after she got out of my class, and so I feel like maybe she just needs to pull out a few of these that aren't. They're not. There's none that are terrible, but there's definitely, like, this doesn't really have any good focus. This is blurry. There's no good contrast. This is interesting because you get this little area here that's in focus, then it fades out, and you've got leading lines. So compositionally, she's got some interesting stuff, but she already had enough. Like, she doesn't need to overwhelm anybody. But I do have some issues that I would want to talk about. So obviously the fit and finish is great. Like I said before, she has professional work. She has no picture. So when you go to the About page, she has no picture. This is maybe like a contested thing. I don't like when people have pictures. I put mine up there, I think more because of my field of work, but personally I don't. It almost makes me feel weird when somebody puts their picture up there. So that's just me, but you know, other people might feel completely different about that. So anyway, the bad thing. What do I say is bad? Okay, there's no wireframe. She has no wireframe. I don't know if this is clean topology or if it's just like a ZBrush sculpt that she threw in here. I have no clue. I don't know if this can go into a game engine or not. She's typically done game work, so although some of her professional work is not game work, but in the classes I was teaching her, it was. What else? Some of the scenes are less impressive. Like I said, like the bathroom, she needs to probably move that. Okay, and then there's one last detail that I'll actually mention at the end. I'm going to hold off on mentioning it now. I'll mention it later. Let's go on to another one. Okay, so this is Leanne Baxa. If you look at down here a little bit further, this is her work. She did this in my class. Okay, so Leanne... she's got some nice work here. It says at the top, 2D, 3D artist. And she's got a bunch of 3D ZBrush sculpts, it looks like, that she did. She's got a few 2D, maybe just only two, actually, 2D pieces. Okay, so, but tons of problems. The stuff that she does have, some of these are pretty nice looking. They're decent. They have appeal to them. But they're just heads, and we can only see like one part of them. We can dig in here, maybe get a little bit deeper, but again, it's just the top part, and it's hard to say that there's that's great. And some of the stuff just looks kind of old and outdated. And like this first one, maybe this one, these are maybe they're her best. And then this is great. This is really fantastic. This is a really good piece of 2D artwork. So I actually think this is the best piece on here. So she says 2D, 3D artist. If this is your best piece, move it up to here. Move maybe your next 3D best piece after that. But there's tons of problems here. So let's talk about what the issues are. There's no proof of a production pipeline ready work. So there's nothing that shows that any of these pieces can be taken and put into a game engine, can be rigged, can be used. So that's a huge problem. I mean, if you're going to do just character sculpting, you better be the Michelangelo of character sculpting if you're going to, work in that space. Otherwise, you need to make sure that you can fit into a pipeline. One other thing that I would say is that a lot of the skin, I should say, the skin and the textures is very simplistic and doesn't have like depth to it. It just like, actually it's interesting. This last one here probably has some of the best skin, maybe this one, but a lot of it's just basically like it seems like one shader with a tiny bit of painting on it. So it's not really coming off great. I'm not counting this because that shouldn't even be up there. Neither should this. So anyway, I just wanted to go over stuff like that. Like, if you're gonna say, hey, I want to be a character artist or I want to be a 2D artist, well, you better have a bunch of really great stuff. If she kept doing stuff like this, I think she could probably get a job as a concept artist. But with this body of work that she's showing off here, she's not really making herself hireable as a concept artist. So only just kind of as some. It almost looks like she's somebody who dabbles, who just likes to play around in 3D, likes to play around in 2D, but it's not really seriously building a body of work. All right, so let's jump over to, let's see, this is Therese. She was another student in the same class as Leanne, and she has a piece in here that, okay, so this is one of the pieces she did, and you can't this is me critiquing it. You can't really see the details. She did have a lot of kind of cool details in there, and she had the camera really far off, so you can't really see that. But let's jump back. Okay, so the thing that I really want to critique about Therese is that Therese actually has professional work, and actually right here, if you click on this, she's done professional work. She worked for Ubisoft, and so she's got this kind of stuff that really should be probably the first thing in here, especially because the first thing that she has here showing off is these 2D things. And I know Therese is a good artist, and she should know well enough that these are they're fun, they're nice, but they're certainly not worthy of what she wants to put front as a portfolio for getting hired. Her anatomy's way off. This one's actually decent. But that's definitely something. I wouldn't want these to be my front runners. I would want my professional work, and then to go off from there. Unless it's like Maria, where her best work is not even her professional work, then that's fine. Put your best work first. So anyway, I just want to mention that. And then this is Therese's LinkedIn page, and you can see she's got professional work and how long she was at different places. So this I like about this is that you can click on these and see the work that she did at these places, so that's cool. This actually she did in my class, so I guess this is a variety work, but she has stuff here where you can click on at the job and see some of the work that she worked on. Okay, so let's see what else. Okay, so we got this, like that's another thing. So I just wanted to show her LinkedIn because then you can see that she's got her professional work up there. That's nice. Okay, so but she's got a lot of stuff she has to work on, and she needs a bigger body of work. Okay, next, this is Michael Abaticola. I think I worked with him at High Voltage, but I also was one of his professors at Columbia College in Chicago, and I just want to play this little tidbit that he did. So, boom, nice. All right, cool. All right, so soon after he got out of school, he got a job. He got a job as an animator at EA, and I believe he's still there to this day. Okay, so this is just two little clips. I couldn't find his full demo reel, but that was what I found of him. And now, one of the most important things I want to show about Michael is this right here. Okay, so he's obviously got professional work. Great, great, great. Look at this. He's at Columbia College. That's where I had him as a student. 2012 to 2016. Look what he's doing in 2015 to 2016. He went and took online classes at this Anim school to get extra work within the area he was interested. I pulled up this site just so you guys can see this stuff, because the truth of the matter is that you really have to go outside of just the classroom and the class assignments if you're going to get good enough to really make it in this industry. That's just, I don't know anybody who doesn't. I did it. I know lots of people that I worked with that got in the industry, worked outside of, and sometimes it was tutorials. I did a lot of Gnomon stuff. So I just wanted to show that like while he was still in school, he was actually like, hey, I'm going to, I need more practice, I need more help, I need more mentoring, and he went ahead and got extra schooling while he was still in school. So I think that's really great. Okay, I just want to show this guy really quick. I had this guy in the first class I ever taught at Columbia. His name is Jesse Grable, or Grabiel. He was a really good modeler, and he ended up getting at NetherRealms. And here's some of the stuff that he did at NetherRealms for Injustice, just a few things. And They're kind of cool. I'm just going to click on a couple of them. This one's pretty cool. So obviously gruesome. I love it. And this one's actually, I think this is my favorite set of, he's got a bunch of Batman stuff in here. I don't know why this one's not first. This is really cool right here. I would rather see that up here because this one looks like a toy to me, but this actually looks like something interesting, more interesting. This is great. This is really cool looking. These are really cool looking. These should be up there as main pictures if he did these for sure. Okay, so what you would say, what problem would you have with Jesse's work? Okay, the only problem I have is that, well, some of it's very thematic, and obviously it's Injustice for the most part, except for he's got this one little Mortal Kombat thing, but that's not really a far stretch from, from Injustice. But what I do have a problem with is the fact that I know I've seen him do some really great work. He used to work at a, I want to say it was like a advertisement firm, and I know he did great work in my class. And I would love to see some other stuff other than just this, because I think even though he's branding himself like with this kind of area, I think he needs to show that he can do other stuff. Even though I'm well aware of like how good this work is, but still I would like to see, oh, you can do good hard surface, you can do realistic rendering and modeling, great. That would be awesome to see, because then he's probably not looking for a job right now, I would guess. And if he was, then he should update this and put those kind of things in there. But still, like, branding, like, I would like people to know that you can do a wide variety within a discipline. I don't mean like put, your animations and your 2D drawings and your 3D stuff all in one. I'm saying, but a wide variety within the discipline that you're focusing on. Okay, so that's important. But Jesse's got great stuff for sure. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying I know he's got other great stuff. Okay, I say this kind of as the last portfolio, sort of. I got one little demo reel here. This is another one of my students. This is Kingston, who really ended up surprising the heck out of me as being, I actually have his thing all the way at the top. Right here, this is one of his pieces. I don't even know where this is anymore, but it doesn't matter because his new stuff is so much better. And I can tell that he keeps updating his stuff, which is really, really great. So I'm just going to talk about strengths. That I think this is the strongest portfolio, and I'll show you why. I'm just going to go into this one area. This is great. I love this character. I think it's a unique design. I don't know if he designed it. I don't know if it even matters. But look at here. He's showing the textures that he's using. He's kind of showing that he knows the whole pipeline. He's got his wireframe here, so he's not afraid to show off like it's clean work. And then, of course, this is the thing I said I was going to hold off till later about talking earlier about Maria's, is that he's got his work in a 3D viewer. And this, especially for if you're doing like game type work, this is how you should be showing your models, in my opinion. You can come in here and you can look at the wireframe, you can look at all the different textures, and you can see, I mean, especially with this, you can see how clean this is. It's just really well done. This is Marmoset, by the way. You can see the normal maps on there. Let's look at this is just the albedo map. This is just fantastic. This is like the way that, a art director could come and really say, hey, does this guy really know what he's doing? Does this girl really know what she's doing? We need to know, so we can go ahead and look at these. Like, this is the intricate stuff. I can zoom up to this and see, well, how does it look from this distance? Or whatever. It just unmasks the whole process. Whereas when I'm looking at Maria's gun, it's beautiful, but I don't know if it's as good and clean as this is, because she's not showing me anything else. Okay, so the other thing that I would say about his, and there's not really a lot to knock because this stuff's really good. This is not really that mature. This is just a roller derby young female that got kind of beat up. But the other thing this is great stuff, but the other thing I would say, the one thing I feel like I'm missing, is where's the male? If you're going to be a character artist, show that you can do males and females, show that you can do creatures, show that you can do, ghouls and creepy stuff, show you can do animals. Those are all, and robots. And actually, it's funny, I'll bet you he probably built a lot of this portfolio, because I've been saying this for years, that if you're going to build a wide variety, good character reel, you should have a variety of different examples of the stuff you can do. I'm just missing the male. I got 2 females, no males. I would love to see just a regular male done. Yeah, it could be whatever, a guy walking down the street or whatever. That would be great. Okay. I didn't want to leave out like tech artists, so I wanted to show this. If you guys get this name, Poplowski, and what's Matt? I don't know, Matouche. I'm not sure how to say that, but this is a fantastic demo reel of rigging, a rigging reel, and the reason why this is so great, I'll tell you, is not only does he show the rig and he shows all these cool tools that he made, and he shows the intricacies of it, but it's got really, really good music, and it's almost like it has a what's the word? It almost has a story, a narrative going along with it. It's just funny. It's entertaining. It's great. It's a great, and it's like it's worth the 3 minutes that you're gonna watch because it's just really entertaining. And the animator that he got to animate it and the modeler that he got to model it did great job. So everything's great. Like, yes, he's just looking at his rigging or he's focusing on his rigging here, but he is what do you call it? He's going and has the whole thing is good. Everything's good. Okay, now here I'm going to show you. This is a crying shame of a reel because from 213. Let me just start off from the beginning. So this person has a 3D Generalist reel, and it's actually got a lot of good stuff in it. I'm just going to clip through. Look at these scenes. These are really nice. There's a lot of really good stuff here. Like, this person is definitely a talented modeler and texture artist. So, like, let's see, pull it back there. Look at that. Good stuff. This truck looks really good. And then at I got it written down, 213, they go into their rigging reel. 213, okay? They should be done with their reel by now, okay? Unless they had a reason to really keep going. This goes until 7 minutes. 7 minutes they show their rigging reel. Or so I should say until 7 minutes. So we're talking about over 5 minutes they show a rigging reel. And not only that, but it's not interesting like this guy's. It doesn't have like novelty to it. It's not funny. It's just like grabbing different parts and moving it. It's super boring and it's way too long. Way too long. Then they go into some other tools. This is nice. I mean, so in other words, you know, like, this is great. If you're going to be a tech artist, you should show some tools and stuff that you write. Show your rigging, show that kind of stuff. They go into some dynamic tools that they wrote. That's great. It's not bad, but the thing is that look at the total time of this. It's 13 minutes and 41 seconds. You don't make demo reels 13 minutes and 41 seconds. Even if you're like the best person in the world at whatever it is, you wouldn't need to make it that long because they should know within a minute that they're like, oh, this guy's the best. Don't even show me anymore. My mind's gonna explode on the screen. Why 13 minutes? I don't know. This person has good work, and yet they did it for 13 minutes and just basically will completely annihilate their ability. I mean, maybe this person gets a job. I don't know, but they're certainly going to be told, look, your demo reel is ridiculous. They could have a modeling reel, just ending it on their last model here, and send off reels from that. And then if they want the rigging thing, they got to really shorten that up and make it fun, and then show the tools and stuff like that, and then end it at that. Okay, so most of this really is like a lot of tech art stuff, but their modeling and texturing is really good too, which is amazing. So this person, Kareem's amazing. Kareem's amazing, but he needs to learn how to make his thing the right amount of time. And so I wanted to show you, like, this to me was a travesty because I saw this and I was like, it's so good and yet it's so bad. So don't be that. Don't do what Kareem did, but do the quality that Kareem does in his work. Just don't make it as long. And if I'm gonna probably look and see if I can leave like a comment there saying, look, this is really great stuff. but you really should probably cut down on how long this is. Anyway, that's my spiel. Thanks for listening, guys, and this is Triplet out.